How's it going, everyone? Welcome to Conti and Nick. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. The first time they go offense, they take Jordan Love? They take Jordan Love!
Listen, Matisse Thybulle will lock up
Matisse
CP3.
Oh my god.
Chris Paul.
Oh my god.
Chris Paul, baby. Right, Will?
Nope, I totally disagree. Look. Welcome back, everyone, to Conti and Nick. I'm Will Nicholson. As always, I have with me Gino Conti. Wednesday night, 7:30. Where else would you rather be?
Must be Wednesday, baby.
Must be Wednesday, because
Hot
it's
takes
Conti
are
and
brought
Nick
to
Day.
the floor and cold ones are left at the door. Let's
You know
go.
how it is. You know how it is.
baby.
It's Conti and Nick Day. It's my favorite day of the week. We get to talk some sports, and man, Gino, has there been some moves going at the trade deadline, my man?
Nope.
Not at all.
So we're gonna
Been
be
boring.
We're talking about
The
no
offensive
team.
line.
We're talking about the offensive line.
Strictly
we're
today,
talking about
that's
special
it.
teams philosophy. We're talking about the assistant general manager hires.
Exactly.
So far,
and
this
we're
year.
only talking about the Joe Judge hire. That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
The former special teams coordinator being hired as an offensive assistant of
Can't
his former
wait.
team.
Can't wait.
Can't wait. Can't you tell by the thumbnail that's what we're talking about?
Obviously.
I don't know what
Yeah.
you people were thinking. You're all dumb.
Before we get into all that, though, thank you everyone who's been supporting us on social media, doing all the polls. We love the interaction. And now I know
Some of
who
you are
John
stupid.
Hanna is. Some people
Some of
are
you are
ridiculous.
stupid.
Some people are ridiculous.
Will,
We showed the
you have
O-line.
no room to speak.
I
You
just
picked
pick. I just
Trent
pick.
Williams
I just
over
pick.
John Hanna.
I just
The
pick.
greatest guard of all time
Yeah.
has just been completely bypassed for a tackle who is very, very good.
See,
okay?
at first,
but by
at
no
first
means
I will
is
say
oh,
it was
Jesus.
absolutely a misclick the very first time, and then D'Lo was like, "Hey, let's rig the polls to make Conti mad." Like,
No,
let's-
he didn't
let's-
say
oh,
that.
He did.
No,
we
he
can
didn't.
ask. We can ask D'Lo. It is
Nope,
true.
Nope,
I
that's not what
swear.
happened.
I swear it happened. But thank you all for interacting.
But when I
with our
vote
polls.
on like 10 different accounts,
and I see Big Dom saying it's Woo Back Wednesday. That too.
he was just playing a video of Wooback.
Yep.
So before we started, he was like, "I missed this," and then he showed me one of the
I do
Wooback
love-
Wednesdays
Yep.
videos, and I was like, "Oh man, that was good too." And I was
Yep.
just dancing to him and
Rip,
everything.
rip to
so.
the woo, man. But yeah, let's get into some
Woo,
basketball.
woo.
Gino, who do you want to start with? What with the trade deadline? What's the number one team?
Let's start with screw this Thunder ad KJ
Yeah.
Okpala or whatever. KZ Okpala. Okay.
I'm just going
No
this
one
so we
cares.
have everything.
Yeah, no one cares. Okay.
Want to start with this whole Kings deal?
So the first one I got. Let's do what the first trade pretty much.
Go,
this
yeah,
whole
yeah, go
trade
for it.
So it was pretty much the Clippers receiving Norman Powell and Robert Covington,
Mm-hmm,
and the Blazers receiving Eric Bledsoe, Justice Winslow, Keon Johnson, and a second rounder. So, Will, like, knee-jerk reaction when you hear that, what do you think?
Okay, I'm looking at it right here. So the Clippers get Norman Powell and
Yep.
Rocco. So initially, I mean, this isn't the Clippers here. Like, we know that. It's Kawhi's been injured. Paul George has been injured. Shout out to Nick Drags. Paul George finally gets his shooter in Norman Powell.
Yeah.
But no, honestly, like, when I look at this, it looks to me like this is just more of, okay, the Clippers are building for, next year, because they're going to have, this is their second year of the Paul George Kawhi. They're going to be going into year 3. I like Norman Powell as a pickup. I think he's a solid guy. I think he's a really good shooter. He plays really good
Anyone
defense.
who knows me, I love Norman Powell.
He's a good
Okay?
he's a good player. Robert Covington, also very underrated. A
I
big
love
3
Robert
guy.
Covington as well.
Surprise, Gino likes all guys that can play defense. Yeah, didn't see that coming.
I love it.
This isn't a bad trade overall for the Blazers too. You get Eric Bledsoe, Justin Winslow, Keon Johnson, a second round. It's not like a blockbuster, right? But I will say the trade that they make later that we're going to talk about this was absolutely boneheaded. So ridiculous.
The way I look at it, so you get 2 starting caliber players for the Clippers, okay?
Okay.
And you're absolutely right, because this is more of a move for next year, because they do not anticipate Kawhi to be ready.
Yes.
And this team doesn't sniff any sort of
They're
real
probably going to have a
success.
top 10 pick. Yeah, the way it's trending.
Yeah, probably. And without any Kawhi Leonard, this team doesn't sniff any real legit success like the LA Clippers fans and organization and everyone had been truly expecting. But I mean, Kawhi's hurt, so what do you want? It is what it is. It's not like they're underperforming and Kawhi is on the floor. So the way I look at it, I go, I don't mind this move for the future at all. In fact, I think it's actually for next season. I think this is a tremendous move.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, because they're getting 2 players who are very highly coveted, who would fit on any team.
Who's even playing point guard for them nowadays?
I mean, it was Eric Bledsoe.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
I'm
thinking it's maybe Reggie Jackson, right?
I think Reggie Jackson got moved, didn't he?
No, I don't think so. So
Okay,
Reggie
so
Jackson.
it's been Reggie Jackson.
So yeah, I mean, I think it was Eric.
It'll
Bledsoe.
probably be Norman Powell now, honestly.
No,
I don't know who else
Norman
would be
Powell's
there.
more of a shooting guard than small forward.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah. So the way I look at it, I'm like, damn. For next season, okay, I'm really gonna look at the Clippers because I never really thought them as serious contenders.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, oh my god, give them the title. No, like I knew
I
that
thought
first
they
year
were
was,
very good.
I knew that first year it was happening. The Lakers were gonna win. I'm so happy I called it. I mean, shocker once again. You know.
All right.
But I look at this move and I'm like, wow. Okay.
How's that
Powell-
Nelson Aguilar take going?
it's going
I'm on
great.
my phone.
Okay, Nelson Aguilar had 1,500 receiving yards, and
Okay.
I predicted 14.
Okay.
1,500 minus 1,000.
All right.
Minus
For sure.
500. You know, so I would have waited if I were the Clippers. I would have waited for Keon Johnson if I do have one gripe about it, because he's somebody who's known to have a high ceiling and a bit of I wouldn't say a low floor, but he's a prospect who is promising and the league kind of has their eyes on.
Yeah.
I would have waited a little bit and maybe seeing if you could have executed this trade next season. Okay, because
Maybe.
I do think it is like we said, like for next year, yes. But the way I look at it, you're not here to contend, so kind of like at least for the season. So I don't understand why you don't wait and why you don't do this for next year. See if Keon Johnson develops, and then rather than having him be an add-on for the Blazers who are clearly rebuilding,
Yeah.
okay, then you can, if he develops into something nice, you can trade Keon Johnson for something like something in its own right.
I
Do you know
will
what I'm
say,
trying to
in the Clippers' defense, though, when it's trade deadline and you can get a deal like this, you pull the trigger.
I
You
understand.
pull it, even if you have to give a second round Keon Johnson. You pull something. This is a good trade for the Clippers, and honestly, it's not a bad trade for the Blazers either. Because Dame is gonna be out of there. Dame's out.
they're
in my
clearly going to
opinion.
be rebuilding.
That's what it seems.
You know,
like.
and
It
honestly,
even seems like this year they're trying to tank for a pick.
yeah. And what's today? The 9th. The
Yeah.
10th tomorrow is like the official
last
trade
thing.
deadline.
Tomorrow
So-
at what? 5 o'clock?
Yeah,
Eastern,
4
something
o'clock,
like that?
5 o'clock Eastern
Yeah.
time. So the way I look at it, I go, I think that I may get some breaking news during this podcast.
We might. I have my
Yeah,
phone ready.
Yeah, exactly. Like the phone is ready, the notifications are ready. Or, you know, there could be more to come tomorrow, and we'll definitely post about it. We'll put a poll or put it on our story.
I
or
hope
whatever.
we get our first live Woj Bomb on the show.
I know. I
That
don't
would
think
be
we've
amazing.
ever gotten like a
We
real
haven't.
true like.
we
Woj
got
bomb,
we got the Vikings hiring their coach. That's
Kevin
it.
O'Donnell or
Yes.
Kevin O'Connell, whatever
Yes,
the hell his
yeah.
name is. Yeah, we've got, but I mean, that's
We haven't
big.
gotten a real one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's big, but I mean, like,
I want to see Harden to the Nets.
oh, to the Sixers.
Or the-
oh yeah.
to the Sixers,
and for
sorry.
Ben Simmons and like
Yes.
Tyrese Maxey.
Yes,
and
yes,
Matisse Thybulle.
Matisse Thybulle. Apparently, he can't lock up Kevin Durant if he's on Kevin Durant's team.
He can't. He can't. Absolutely.
It's an absolute
Andrew
massive news from the
Kilbin.
Nets.
I'm sorry. Andrew Kilbin's like, where are we? Where am I going to be on the pod? Andrew Kilbin. Will, should we make this official?
Yeah, well,
next
yeah.
week, Andrew Kilbin's
Sure,
on our podcast.
absolutely, yeah.
Okay, because
Come
he's like, y'all are denying the best guess. Y'all are ducking me. Blah, blah,
Covington
blah,
getting
blah.
passed around like a blunt. Yeah, he is.
Yeah,
he
like
really
regular
is.
person. I mean, yeah, and it's a damn shame because he is like a pretty decent role player, man.
He is. No,
Like-
it's just that. But honestly, I think that speaks volumes because teams want You want a guy like Robert Covington.
Yeah,
Like if you can get Robert Covington, you want him. You know what I mean? Where it's a guy like Russell Westbrook. Teams are actively avoiding Russell Westbrook. You see the report that teams are asking for first-round picks to go along with Russell Westbrook?
Yeah.
They don't want him.
Yeah,
They're
absolutely.
like, oh, if you give us Russ, then we want we don't want that contract with that. It's insane how much Russell Westbrook has fallen off.
The way so I don't know if you remember this, but last year the Blazers actually traded the 16th pick, the last pick in the lottery, for Robert Covington.
I do remember.
Yeah,
that,
so
actually.
this is a role player who is like
Yep.
pretty damn coveted, man. So like we said, next year, yes, like definitely this is a big move. This year we know that this is just kind of a year where, you know, fight as hard as you can. But
Absolutely.
the one, like I said, the one gripe that I do have with it is I would have liked to see them develop Keon Johnson a little bit. Maybe keep him and throw a first round pick in there, or maybe a couple of second round picks. Because then, like I said, if Keon Johnson develops, then you could trade him for a whole separate entity.
Absolutely.
Or if he becomes that useful of a piece, you keep him.
Absolutely.
Okay, so my one other question before we move on.
Sure.
Do you think it's too little too late?
For the Blazers?
Yeah,
or-
no, for the Clippers. Do you think, I mean, obviously we just said, like, we think that next year they might be legit, but do you think that this is a little, like, too little too late and they're trying a little too hard
I don't think so.
to get this team right?
I
Like,
don't think so.
Will they ever win a championship?
I think that winning a championship and contending a championship are in my eyes relatively the same. Because I think if you can contend for a championship, it's absolutely worth it. You know what I mean? Like the Celtics, would you take back those Celtics years even though they won like one ring? No, because we were contending from a championship from 2008 until like 2011, arguable 2012. I think that's worth it. So when you make these big deals like Paul George and Kawhi, you're going to be contending for a championship for at least 4 years. Now, this year was a bump in the road. Last year was, you know what I mean? And then the bubble year, obviously. Well, Kawhi got hurt even in the playoffs last year, too.
But then they got upset by Utah. Or Denver. I'm sorry, not Denver.
Yes.
Utah.
They blew the 3-1 lead versus Denver.
Yep.
But you have a whole another year, and I think it's worth it. I don't think this is too little too late. I think they still, need to make moves. They need to get this team right. And I think this is a good move. Like, this doesn't feel like, oh my God, we need to change something. This wasn't a panic deal, in my opinion. I think that this was very thought out, and it's a good deal. And now that I'm noticing that this list that we're going over is actually in order, I mean, we can just kind of do a summary.
Well, that's why I said it. So I had mine in order of like dates.
You're a genius, Conti.
Thank you.
This is why I have you on the show.
Instead of gender.
Exactly.
Oh, sorry, I said the ending a little too quick.
Oh yeah, too quick. Sorry.
What you gonna do? So how we feel? We feeling good about this Clippers one?
I am, yes.
All right. So the next one, obviously, we have right here. Karis. So it's it's a trade between the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Indiana Pacers. Okay. The Cavaliers receive Karis LeVert. Oh my God! And a second-round pick. Pacers receive Ricky Rubio, who is out for the year with a torn ACL. Yep. Who actually is also on an expiring contract. So I mean, that's kind of just a throwaway, I guess. Okay, a protected first-round lottery.
It's not gonna land there.
Yeah, exactly. A protected first-round lottery.
So
pick.
they'll get that.
Yeah, so that's big for the Pacers, and 2 second-rounders. So again, knee-jerk reaction. Well, what do you think about this?
This is a great move for the Cavs. This is a fantastic move for the Cavs. Because, I mean, Ricky Rubio's done for the year. You need a guard. Colin Sexton's also been hurt. And you need someone to kind of complement Darius Garland, who is a bucket, by the way.
I like Garland.
I was talking actually about this at dinner a little while ago with my roommates. Darius Garland is like criminally underrated. He is an absolute bucket, and he's a team player kind of bucket.
I think
he's a Chris Middleton type of bucket.
I like it. I think his true coming out party is going to be in the playoffs this year.
I
Because
think
the
so.
Cavs right now are the 4 seed.
Yeah.
I mean,
the Cavs have been amazing.
Yeah, the Cavs.
Mobley has been fantastic.
I know.
Jared Allen, and we called this. I'm saying it. Jared Allen took the jump we said he would.
I know.
We did say that.
Conti and Nick takes full credit and responsibility for that.
We did. But, all right, look, so you're looking at the Cavs now. You have Darius Garland to play more of a point guard, and, Colin Sexton is too shot-heavy, in my opinion, and I think he should get moved.
He's a ball hog.
For sure. And you have Darius Garland, who passes, is a good shooter, and an overall great point guard to have. Now you have Karis LeVert to come in and play that shooting guard, small forward position.
18.5 per
yeah,
game.
No, he's a bucket.
Yeah,
you have Evan Mobley at the 4, Jared Allen at the 5, and I don't even know who they're running at small forward now.
Is it like Cedi Osman?
Okay, yeah, so it's steady. Dude, that is a solid roster. That is a playoff competing roster, in my opinion. Now, I will say, if you told me this at the beginning of the year, I would have said you were crazy. That this would be a top 4 team in the East right now.
And let's give credit to JB Bickerstaff. Okay, he was hired as their interim coach a couple years ago after Ty Lue, I believe. I forget if it was Ty Lue or somebody else. Yeah. Okay, he has done a fantastic job.
He's done a great job.
He was the interim coach of the Grizzlies, I believe, too, when David Fizdale got fired there. He did a good job there in Memphis, okay, and now he finally got his chance with like a full year and a full couple of years there in Cleveland.
He's done
and they're
great.
building that.
Oh yeah.
And let me say for the record, I know we called Jared Allen being good, okay, but I was wrong. I thought that Evan Mobley and Jared Allen would be a bit of like a clutter there.
Yeah.
And they win.
I remember you said it was like, do they move Jared Allen and get pieces? Or do you put Mobley on the bench? And the Cavs were like, well, screw that. Let's play them both. Like,
exactly.
Let's play Mobley at the 4. And it's worked beautifully.
I'm willing to admit I was completely wrong about that. And I'm kind of happy I am because, it's fun to see, like, this sounds weird, but it's fun to see Cleveland without LeBron James being successful.
It's different. I mean? It's weird.
It is.
I don't like it.
You don't like
No, I do like it, actually.
You just said you like it. But, I mean, that's what I will say. I mean, it is good. And now you look at it, and it's like, with this move, especially because Karis LeVert, he's somebody who, this is huge because, like you said, Darius Garland plays team basketball. He's a good, hell of a player who I think, like I said, is going to have his coming out party in the first round of the playoffs or in whatever, how far they make it, okay? They add a guy who can create his own shot, so that just draws a lot of defensive attention away from the guys who already are successful on the team. Okay, so that allows them to shine more because you have to deal with just a walking bucket. Then you have Evan Mobley, who, in my opinion, I was wrong about Davion Mitchell. Okay, in my opinion, Evan Mobley is the rookie of the year. I mean, would you dispute that?
I don't think it's close.
So far,
Cade Cunningham.
Cade Cunningham's been good.
He hasn't played good enough.
Yeah, I mean, obviously not to the level of Mobley, but I think Cunningham will get there eventually.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So
he's on a significantly worse roster.
He is, and I do like Sadiq Bey and Stewart and all them, but it's clear that Detroit is like a couple years away.
Yeah.
Okay, but I mean,
but we knew that.
Yeah,
I knew that.
And Cleveland is now putting themselves in a position where I think they're a free agent destination.
Oh, absolutely.
Now.
I was about to say, because I wanted to bring this up with you really quick, with all the stuff going around, and look, this is very out there, like very out there. Okay,
say it.
Well, Kevin Durant is having some troubles in Brooklyn right now. I'm throwing it out there. His superstars don't want to play alongside him. And KD, if you remember in 2016, he was very, very close to going to that Boston Celtics team that was scrappy and needed a superstar. And it was actually his second choice between him and Golden State. And we've seen that Kevin Durant likes to play for these scrappy teams. He likes to go there. I'm just saying, could Kevin Durant make a move to Cleveland?
I don't see it. Okay, I'm not saying. I'm not gonna say you're
crazy.
You
could say this. It's unlikely, but you can kind of see it, right? You could see it being a possibility.
I'm not gonna say you're crazy for it because, like
it's
I said,
out there.
Like I said, they are like I think with all these moves that they're making and them being like a competing team right now and actually playing very well. And would you say they're overachieving, or would you say this is who they are? Actually?
I think this is who they are.
Yeah. So
I also think the East is not as good this year. So it's been pretty.
So we'll see. Let's just assume for right now that this is how Cleveland is, and then they're not overachieving.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then if that's the case, they are, like I said, and like you said, a free agent destination.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to say it's impossible, but I give it like a 0.1% chance of happening.
I'll take
okay,
it.
but like I said, I'm not calling you crazy. I just don't see a guy like Kevin Durant going there. I see him going, if he's going to go anywhere, more to a team with established vets and guys who know how to win, like he did when he was a bitch going to Golden State, and how he was because, he can't win without superstars like I've already established. Okay? And like he did with Brooklyn. Obviously, it's not working, but the goal was still there because they brought in Kyrie and James Harden.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So,
absolutely, yeah.
So, I mean, the one thing I will say...
Overall, good move for the Cavs, though.
Yes,
for sure.
The one thing I will say, too, I'm actually very, very happy. I've been a closet Pacers fan for a little bit, okay? Like, hold on, you know me. Hold on, how long have I been saying I loved Nate McMillan and the job he was doing there?
You did.
And yeah, I've been saying that. I'm a big fan of Nate McMillan. I was so pissed when he was fired, okay? But I think this is actually...
Hasn't had as good of a year with the Hawks, though.
He hasn't. I'll fully admit he hasn't had as good of a year as Hawks, or with the Hawks. But I think this is a good move for the Pacers, man, because the way I look at it, I go, look...
I don't know. I mean, you get some good picks over a guy that... this is a rebuilding play for them for sure.
Yeah, so
you take an ACL player, you dump Caris LeVert's contract.
Yeah,
you're not gonna keep Ricky Rubio. He's not gonna play a single game for the Cavaliers.
I don't think so. But here's the thing: the way I look at it, I go, getting that lottery protected pick. That's what's key about this. Okay, you are guaranteed a pick in the lottery. I like Caris LeVert, and here we are praising this move, but he's not even an all-star.
They're gonna get this pick. The Cavs will not be picking in the lottery.
Absolutely not.
This pick will go to the Pacers.
Yeah, absolutely not. So, but back to my point, Caris LeVert is not an all-star. I'd say he's about a tick below an all-star caliber player. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like an above-average starter, but not an all-star.
For sure.
For you to get a lottery pick for a guy who isn't even an all-star, I think that's a win. You know what I mean? Because here you are, you're unloading somebody's cap space from your team, okay? And like I said, you're getting rid of somebody who isn't an all-star player, but you're getting a lottery pick. To me, that's huge. Okay,
I think so. Yeah.
So I mean, obviously you're taking on Ricky Rubio, which whatever, they might just dump him or they might flip him.
I think this trade is as even gets.
Yeah.
Both teams win from this. The Cavs get a player they needed and could really use, and the Pacers building for the future.
Yeah,
and that pick is basically guaranteed.
Exactly.
So it's going to be good.
And there's a difference between, like, building and just stockpiling picks and then getting picks for, like, the caliber of player you're trading away. This, I believe, is a huge move for the Pacers. Okay?
I agree.
And like I said, it's a win-win. Well, you ever seen Endgame with the Hulk?
Yes.
I think it's a win-win.
I think this is an absolute win.
I think this is an absolute win. That's the okay. Yeah, you outquoted me. There you go.
I'm a Marvel nerd.
I'm just here so I don't. I love Marvel too, brother. I'm just here so I don't get fined.
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
So
new Spider-Man movie's goated, by the way.
I've never seen the new Spider-Man movie.
You gotta see it.
Yeah,
it's great.
Everyone's saying it's excellent.
Oh, it's great.
Let's check these comments, man. Let's see what Cam Tate and John Hausberger are blabbering about.
I haven't seen it in a while.
Covington is the Brandon Cooks problem, where he's so valued everyone wants.
That's like really accurate.
It's a good comparison. I like that comparison a lot.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I agree with it.
So what do you think? We're good on this one?
Yeah, this is the one that I'm like,
All right, so
Man.
you do it, Will. There you go.
Okay, so February 8th, yesterday, the Pelicans traded CJ McCollum, Larry Nance Jr., and Tony Snell, got back Josh Hart.
Josh.
They got back oh my god, I almost did it again. Josh Hart, Nicole Alexander Walker, Thomas Satoransky, Didi Lazauda, a 2022 first round draft pick. It's protected. And then a couple second round picks. So a second round pick in 2026, which is insane. But
it's crazy how much in the future these NBA trades
I
can
know.
go in terms of picks.
We said that about the Nets trade in like 2014.
Yeah, and just for reference, Nicole Alexander Walker did get traded to the Utah Jazz.
Okay.
Later on or earlier today.
For Joe Ingles, right?
Yeah. No. Joe Ingles I think was a different part.
Okay.
I think it was like a second round or some sort of pick. I don't have it written
so
down.
So Nicole Alexander Walker is going to Utah.
Yes.
Which I actually like. I think he's a good player.
Yeah, so. Nicole's pretty good, but I mean, he's known to be a little bit inefficient,
For
so I mean...
He's still very young.
Yeah, so he's very young, but I am a little concerned because, like I said, to be inefficient and only average about 12 to 13 a game,
it's hard.
That kind of turns me off a little bit.
He's playing around Donovan Mitchell now and Rudy Gobert.
So we'll see.
He'll be a good role player off the bench, I think.
Absolutely.
But as far as this trade goes, if you're the Trailblazers, what are you doing? What is the plan? The team just got significantly worse around Damian Lillard, who there's already been questions around whether he's going to stay in Portland or not. It's a small market, and yet Dame has stayed loyal. And this is what you do? This is how we treat loyalty in the NBA? We throw it to the wall? What is this? Like, I'm genuinely was confused by this trade, and I still am. If I'm the Blazers, you get Josh Hart, Satoransky, whoever Lauzada is. I don't even know who that is.
DB Lauzada.
I don't even know who that is. I literally don't even know who that is. The trade earlier, okay, you get Keon Johnson, Justice Winslow, Eric Bledsoe. That's a significantly worse team. Significantly worse compared to where you have CJ McCollum. And I saw everyone saying this was a big send off. Thanks for everything you did for the city, CJ. Thanks. End of an era. What era? They went to the Western Finals 1 year and got destroyed?
Yeah.
What are we doing? What are we doing here if you're the Blazers? What is the logic? But I actually want to know what is the logic behind this trade. Are you just gonna waste Dame's whole career? Is that what's going on? Because if you're a small market team, you absolutely need to make good trades. We see this with the Kings
and
every
draft
single
well.
tier and draft well. That's what you need. You're not gonna get free agents ever, and you're definitely not going to get them unless you make those two things happen. So I don't know. This is absolutely boneheaded in my opinion. I don't know what they're doing. It looks like they're rebuilding, but Dame is 30?
31, 32.
Yeah, he's something like. What are you doing? He's got 3 solid years left
of being a
prime player, and then he's a role player. I don't know. I don't get it.
So the way I look at it, I'm not. Here's the thing. If they keep Dame, then I'm with you. Okay,
sure.
But I don't where there's smoke, there's fire. I don't think that they're gonna make this move and not trade Damian Lillard by tomorrow.
And that's fair, but it's they're not even trying, man. You know what I mean?
What do you mean?
It's they're not. I don't know.
I mean, they got another protected first round pick.
Yeah, no, not as far as the rebuild. I mean, this pick right here is actually pretty big because the Pelicans are not very good this year.
No.
So this pick is massive, the first round pick that they got, but. No, this was a good trade if you're trying to rebuild, but my thing is, why are you trying to rebuild? I mean, you have Damian Lillard. You have the number 2 point guard in the league, in my opinion.
Yeah, but
what are we doing?
But like you said, they've only made it to the Western Conference Finals once.
That's fair. In my opinion, and look, this is what similar, I guess. I kind of see the John Wall, Bradley Beal kind of equal to what Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum were. And we said we didn't want this to happen with the Celtics, where Tatum and Brown became the new, even Dame and CJ, I guess we can say. And this is the result of that, where you move CJ last second, and it's garbage. You know what I mean? So they should have moved on from CJ 2 years ago, in my opinion. It should have happened. This trade should have happened long ago, and they would have gotten way better than this. So this is okay. You drafted poorly, in my opinion. You've drafted bad. They
drafted Anthony Simon.
Sure.
And he's been pretty damn good.
Yeah, okay. They haven't drafted amazingly, though. You know what I mean? And the moves that they made have not good. You took a shot on Hassan Whiteside. He missed.
He was actually pretty good for them.
Yeah,
Whiteside was actually pretty good.
They were putting way too much into him than they should have been. Hassan Whiteside is a rotational center at best, I think. And they were trying to make him Rudy Gobert level defensive lockdown guy. That's not gonna happen. This trade it's a panic trade. I was talking about panic trades earlier. This is a panic trade. So just make something happen. You know what I mean? And I'm not a fan of this overall.
See, here's the thing. I disagree because, like I said, where there's smoke, there is fire. Okay,
Which I agree. Dame's out the door, but they're not even trying to like make a pitch. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and here's the thing. The way I look at it, like you said, hindsight is 2020. Okay, like you said, this trade should have been done like a couple years ago. We're
Absolutely.
saying that now with the luxury of knowing they weren't gonna do anything. Okay,
But even then, we were saying, oh, they should move on from CJ.
Well, okay.
Let's get. I don't know.
I
like,
will- so
who are
here's
the
the-
Paul George? You
Yeah,
know what I mean? That was
I
a
will-
talk
here's
back in the day.
And I will say, it's Kevin Love even.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
I will say that some people were saying that a couple years ago. I'll completely grant that to you. But at the same time, they're going all in. They're trading for guys like Norman Powell. They're trading for guys like Robert Covington. Those are two premier role players who teams who are going for the championship. Those are guys who you're looking for in order to like kind of hold the fort down in terms of role players.
I think you got to know your situation though. You can't. This backcourt was never going to win ever.
Well-
You can't have a two small guard backcourt. It doesn't work.
Well, they don't know that. Well, because look at it. Because like you said, they have the second best point guard in the league, and I agree that he is
Sure.
in Damian Lillard. Okay,
But when
CJ
in today's
McCollum,
NBA has a small backcourt one, like a true small backcourt. it doesn't
Kyle
happen.
Lowry and Fred VanVleet.
Okay, yeah, but
Kyle Lowry and Fred
we
VanVleet.
got to put that in context with
Kawhi
Kawhi.
Leonard. I get it, but you asked the
and
question.
Kevin Durant getting hurt.
But
you
you
know
asked
what
the question.
That's what that's fair. That was
Yeah.
that was good on your toes. I respect that.
Thank you. But here's
But
the
they
thing.
usually don't work unless a
They don't.
situation like that.
I know.
happens.
Here's the thing. I know what you're saying. But again, the way you got to look at it, they have the Portland Trailblazers, like you said, are a small market. Okay, and they're not gonna get guys like Damian Lillard
No.
to ever sign a contract and put the pen on the paper with them. Okay,
Mm.
so that means if they draft him and they have him, they have to keep him, and they have to do everything at all costs to make sure before he requests a trade that he's gonna do everything he can in his power to stay
And
there
Dame has
and
given
win a
him the
championship.
luxury.
And I will
Dame
agree.
has been, I'm here, I'm Portland forever. And everyone's like, oh, do you want to get moved? No, I'm Portland forever. And then they lose in the second round, and then he goes and he makes an album about loyalty.
Yeah.
It's what Dame does.
No, and here's the thing. I agree.
ridiculous.
So I think I'm not here calling you out, Will, but I
Yeah.
think you're using the benefit of hindsight in your take.
Sure, maybe
You
a
know what I
little
mean?
bit.
Because
Maybe a little bit.
like I said, when you have a star like Dame, you have to do everything in
That's
your
fair.
power to make sure you surround a team like around him that wins a championship. And what did they do? They got Norman Powell and they got Robert Covington, two premier
But you need
role
to know your
players in the league.
situation. You know what I mean? While I am using hindsight, it was absolutely a thing that they were saying that they should move on from CJ McCollum.
Absolutely.
And they should trade. I don't even remember who it was, but make a trade for CJ back when we knew, okay, OKC is rebuilding 100. Like, we know this. They're rebuilding 100%. And Paul George wanted out. And then, okay, you can make that move happen. That was a move that totally could have happened.
And I completely agree with you.
And then
but
you don't
again,
have your tiny backcourt.
But again, they're not going to sign on the dotted line. No premier free agents going
But
to
Dame
sign on the
has.
dotted line.
But Dame's
No,
the
no, no,
attraction.
I'm
there.
saying,
And
like-
Dame has said, okay, I'm staying here. Most small markets don't have the luxury of their star playing going, oh yeah, I'm all in.
No.
Very
I
few.
get that, and you're right, but I'm saying like no outside free agent.
Yes,
Like
yeah.
Kyrie Irving is not going to come to Portland.
Absolutely not,
You know what I
no.
mean? Who's Lonzo Ball? I know Lonzo Ball isn't a superstar, but that's just the first thing that came to my head.
Yeah.
Lonzo Ball is not going to go to Portland.
Yeah.
Okay, like these guys, like these premier talents, and Lonzo Ball outstanding because I know he's not a premier talent. He's a very good point guard though.
Yeah.
They're not going to sign the third line. While you're absolutely right that yes, he signed an extension and showed exceptional loyalty. Okay, do everything you can to make sure Dame gets a ring because nothing is because
they haven't done that though. In my opinion, they haven't done
I
that.
think that they have.
They've gotten good role players, but you know you're in the Western Conference. You know what you're you're competing against the Lakers. You know you're competing against the Clippers. You need a guy.
Okay,
you,
but
you
listen,
need
but
that guy.
they
CJ
made it-
McCollum is not that guy.
They made it to the Western Conference Finals. They didn't do as well the next year, but then the next year they got Robert Covington and they got Norman Powell. You know what I mean? So
Those are
there's-
like okay moves, though. You know what I mean?
but for the
They're good moves.
situation
See,
that they
no, 'cause
thought they were
when
in,
we were
those are
talking
two
about the
huge
Norman
moves.
Powell Robert Covington trade with the Clippers, that was good because we know they already have the core of okay, Kawhi and Paul George. For the Blazers, that the problem wasn't in the role players, it was in the core. That core was never going to work. everyone knew, or at least I knew, that core was never going to work. I never had faith in the Blazers. I always knew that they would, okay, maybe win one playoff series because, I don't know, Dame goes crazy like he did against OKC. Like, that stuff's going to happen, and then they're just going to get torched. It's how it is.
And here's like, I'm not arguing with that, but you got to look at it from the Trailblazers' perspective.
That's true.
Okay, you have to look at it from their perspective. Their GM, their owner is probably looking at it like, well, shit. Like, we were just we were just 4 wins away from making it to the NBA Finals. Yeah. At one point, they were a top 4 team in basketball.
Sure.
Right? So the way
that was due to a singular guy. In my opinion.
So what did they do? They bring in 2 guys who any team in the league would want.
They should have traded McCollum, though. That's what I'm arguing. They should have
moved
moved for McCollum way earlier.
But that's the hindsight.
It's absolutely hindsight. Yeah. But sometimes you gotta be looking with hindsight. You know what I mean?
I get what you're saying.
You gotta be looking towards the future.
I get what you're saying,
stuff.
but they're not here to predict CJ McCollum not doing as well the last couple of years.
Yes, that's fair.
You know what I mean? Like, they're not here to predict that.
That's fair. So I'll give it that. I still think this was a boneheaded move. Just in general, the Blazers have been an absolute dumpster fire in these past couple of years, in my opinion. With the exception of Dame going off.
Yeah, and Don Hausberger just goes, they have done their best to get a ring in Portland, or to get a ring. Portland isn't a huge market. That's what I'm saying. Fair. So there you go.
I think you got to do better than just, you know what I mean?
Well, like what?
Well, I mean, look, another small market, Charlotte Hornets, drafting fantastically. And, they're starting to become a little bit of, okay, Gordon Hayward's going to go, which isn't huge, don't come on. But players don't mind playing in Charlotte. You know what I mean?
Well, now they don't.
Well, now they don't, but it's because they drafted well and they kind of put that better culture together. Miles Bridges has been very good. And I think Kelly Oubre has been good. They've overall done a very, very good job over there. And I don't know. But speaking of organizations that just make awful moves, I mean, we need to go to the other trade that happened that day on February 8th. The Pacers get Tyrese Halliburton, Buddy Hield, Tristan Thompson, and the Kings get Sabonis, Justin Holiday, and Jeremy Lamb. Have they never seen Tyrese Halliburton play?
Are you talking about the Kings?
Yes.
Are you roasting the Kings?
Yes.
Okay.
Have they not seen Tyrese Halliburton play? What is this? What is this? Genuinely, what is this? I have no idea what the Kings are doing here either. You not only, okay, I could understand moving one of these guys. I would understand even more if it was Buddy Hield. Like, okay, we need to play Halliburton more. Let's try and get that backcourt working of De'Aaron Fox, Tyrese Halliburton. But why are you trading both for Sabonis? Who was an all-star? He's a very good player, but
2-time all-star.
Sure, but I mean, what is this? Why Tyrese Halliburton? This makes no sense in my opinion. Again, for another small organization making a panic trade. I don't know. I could be crazy.
So the way I look at it, I completely agree with you. Like, what the hell are the Kings doing here? Okay, you have to understand what your personnel is. Okay, Buddy Hield has been rumored to be out the door for a little bit now.
For like a couple of years, man.
Okay, yeah. Buddy Hield has been known, like, he was an exceptional sharpshooter a couple of years back, and then the last year and this year, he's kind of declined a little bit. I credit that to Luke Walton.
He's playing in goddamn Sacramento.
Yeah, even though Luke Walton is fired, I believe that stench, that stigma of Luke Walton, probably one of the worst coaches I've ever seen in my damn life, okay, is still surrounding Buddy Hield, okay?
I blame him for Kyle Kuzma, too.
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh,
I'll blame him for everything.
Blame Luke Walton. I love Bill Walton, his dad. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Great Hall of Fame center. I believe
won a ring with the Celtics.
Yeah, won the ring with the Celtics as a 6-man. Okay. I think the only Portland guy to ever win an MVP. I could be wrong. It could be Clyde Drexler could have won one, but I don't think so. Yeah. Okay.
Maybe Hakeem.
Hakeem wasn't on the.
Oh never.
No, he was on the Rockets.
My bad.
So it's not Dame,
that
it's not LaMarcus Aldridge, okay? Okay, not Brandon Roy. Sorry, Dom. I know you like yourself some Brandon Roy.
Who doesn't love himself some Brandon Roy?
Yeah,
some
exactly.
Brandon Roy? Come on now.
Brandon Roy.
Come on now. Okay, not as good as John Bro. Doesn't work.
Okay,
yeah.
That's 2 times already before the outro. Jesus Christ. Okay, the way I look at it, though, with Tyrese Halliburton, you have to know that he is a budding star, and you're not even paying him yet, okay? Domantas Sabonis,
no sense.
Yes.
Makes 0 sense.
Domantas Sabonis is an all-star caliber player, and you may be saying, "Oh, well, guess what? You got Domantas Sabonis and you got De'Aaron Fox now." Okay, you know what? That's a pretty decent duo. I will credit that to you. But what was Domantas Sabonis doing on the Pacers.
Losing games.
Domantas Sabonis is one of
He's
those.
gonna lose even
Yes,
more.
losing games. Domantas Sabonis was the best player on that team, and quite clearly, okay, he's an all-star, but he's not an all-star. He's not a caliber of player who makes wins happen. By no means is he a game changer. He's like a third piece on the championship team.
Sure.
Is Domantas
Sure.
Sabonis, okay?
I'll give you that.
Like that's what Domantas Sabonis is in my opinion. I like him. I do.
Oh, yeah, I like
I
Sabonis.
really do like
And
him.
I hate to, crap on Sabonis, but like, he's not worth that.
He's
not.
not. He's
He's
not.
absolutely not worth. And Tristan Thompson, not a very good player. I know you're a decent fan of Tristan.
I'm not. He's okay. You know what I mean? He's something that I thought would be good for the Celtics. It just didn't work out.
Yeah,
okay,
sure.
like I was wrong about Tristan Thompson. Okay, that's like 2 or 3 times I've admitted I was wrong already.
I know
okay?
this is like a landmark.
No, it is not. I've always been one to admit when I'm wrong.
That's true.
Okay.
But if you're the Pacers, holy fleece, man.
Yeah.
Not only
Holy
no,
beep.
like dude, you fleece them. Absolutely, you get Buddy Hield, Tyrese Halliburton, and you get those picks from earlier. Like, I mean, they're looking solid for. They're gonna get on OKC's level of just the chest of draft picks. Man.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Because Tyrese Halliburton is a budding star who you don't even have to pay.
They don't gotta pay him.
Rather than now having De'Aaron Fox and him splitting time, because I actually think they're gonna flip Buddy Hield and either
Probably,
get more
yeah,
picks or
probably.
get some younger prospects who they're interested in. Okay, I think that Buddy Hield.
I doubt Buddy Hield plays a game.
Yeah, I don't. Or if he does, it'll be very, very. Actually, no. Well, because trade deadline's tomorrow.
Did they
Okay,
not? Did they not move him already?
No,
Okay,
they
yeah.
didn't. But it's been in discussion that they might flip him. So it wouldn't be surprised. So let's assume that they flip him. Okay. Let's assume that they flip Buddy Hield. Tyrese Halliburton now has the keys. I mean, maybe Malcolm Brogdon, but maybe even move Brogdon. If you're Pacers, do you move Malcolm Brogdon?
They shouldn't, but they're probably going to.
I mean, I
really like Malcolm Brogdon.
I do too, but here's the thing: if you're rebuilding, Malcolm Brogdon is like again a highly coveted piece amongst the league.
Yeah.
Okay, so I personally think that you move him. That's just me. Okay, I personally think that's what you do. But we'll see what they do. Okay, Tyrese Halliburton, who already is a budding star by just flip flopping. Okay, like trading shots or whatever, or trading touches with De'Aaron Fox. He now gets the keys, and I think he improves his stock and improves his play even more.
Absolutely.
And you get all these draft picks, and like for all these people to bring in, which can either be traded for a star or you can just develop through the draft. I mean, I think the Pacers, in my opinion, like we don't really see that active of a trade deadline all that much. I think that the Pacers have won this trade deadline and then some.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I think they've done absolutely
for the future
tremendous
too.
job.
They've done great.
Yeah, I mean, I think that like I said, I've been a Pacers fan for a little bit. Okay, I love the direction that they're going in, and let's just say they keep Buddy Hield. That's a good shooter. You know, what I mean? That's a good shooter who, if you draft well and you get good stars and you keep him on your books for a little bit,
they need to draft well. They absolutely need to draft.
That's
well.
crucial.
And they're not a small market in my opinion. I think that basketball is actually pretty big in Indiana. Has been for a while. It's where Larry Bird's from. Does he still own them?
I don't think so.
Okay.
He might, but I don't think so.
I have no idea. But it's Indiana's a pretty big basketball market to the point where they love their basketball in Indiana. It reminds me of what the Supersonics were. They love their basketball in Seattle, which they need a team back. Send the Kings over there at this point.
I've been saying that for a
There
while.
needs to be a team back in Seattle. Absolutely.
Do you 1,000% agree with me that the Sacramento Kings are just a poverty franchise?
It's awful. It's so bad.
I mean, I like Alvin Gentry, their coach. I actually do like him a lot. Okay, and he was the coach of the Pelicans, like when AD was still there and everything.
It's
awful. Sacramento. I mean, they've made it to I think a Western Conference Finals once. When besides like Chris Webber and Jason Williams and Peja, and like when have they really and truly been like a threat? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they're just so bad. Okay, and I know we're kind of just stating the obvious here, but like in my opinion,
it needs to be said. They need to know.
And, like
they don't get a pass.
Yeah, this isn't a Conti hot take by any chance. But like when I say that they're bad, like it's bad.
Yeah.
Okay, like it seriously is insulting that they charge. Like people, like the Kings should be paying their fans to show up to these games. Okay?
Why would you? Like why would you show up to a game?
Man. Okay, like I'm upset, man, because
no, me too.
Like,
and they've hit on a couple of guys They just suck.
They do.
They had Prime Boogie.
Dude,
they had De'Aaron Fox.
They had Hassan Whiteside when he was good. They had Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah.
Okay, and oh my God, I think they're the Jets of the NBA.
Oh yeah,
in my opinion.
They're not like, and don't get me wrong, those aren't like generational talent guys. Like those aren't your LeBron James. I don't even think any of those guys are on the level of like Jason Tatum.
No,
but like
those are good
those
foundational
are good.
pieces.
Yeah, you can build off stuff like that. That's what Indiana does.
Yes.
Is Sabonis some type of generational talent?
Absolutely
No.
not. He's an all-star though.
He's an all-star, yeah.
And they just, oh my God, they just got such a good young star for an all-star who wasn't helping them win.
Yeah.
Okay, like, and they got freaking all those picks earlier. They got the protected lottery Buddy Hield, who if they keep is a really good shooter to have. Yep. And if they don't keep him, they get either more picks or either more young players. Pretty good compensation for him. I mean,
could see teams absolutely going for Buddy Hield.
Absolutely, for Buddy Hield.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, for Buddy Hield, absolutely.
I could name a couple
the Lakers,
off the top of my head.
The Lakers,
the 76ers,
initially traded for him.
The Nets.
Do you remember the Lakers initially traded for Hield?
Yes.
That trade got canceled.
And then they got Russ.
Yeah. For Russ. Imagine how the Lakers would have been if they had Buddy Hield instead of Russ, man.
I don't think that's that much of a difference, but
I think, well, just in terms of because fit and chemistry wise, I think they'd be so much better.
Yeah.
Because that's like one less ball hog.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Russ is awful.
He's not awful. Okay, he's not. Let's not overreact.
This year he's been awful.
This year he's been awful.
Yes.
Okay, but
he's a Hall of Famer.
He is a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Like, let's not overreact. Like, Russell Westbrook is not awful. He can still average a triple-double in his sleep. Okay.
Brian Westbrook was one of my favorite players to watch.
But by no means is he somebody that, pushes the scale. Or by no means is he somebody that fits with a LeBron James type player.
We all have been saying that his inefficiencies will show for a while now. Like, okay, Westbrook puts up good stats and he doesn't really win. And everyone argues, oh yeah, but this is his win percentage when he gets a triple-double compared to when he doesn't get a triple-double. And while I agree the triple-doubles are impactful, but you need to put the context of his efficiency and his
stat padding most of the time.
Yes, absolutely. But he's still a good player. I mean, stat padding has a bad rep, and it should. People shouldn't be going just for stats. It's still very impressive, the stats that he puts up, though. You can't undermine it that much. But, I mean, it doesn't lead to winning basketball. We've been saying it, and now we see it. It doesn't lead to winning. It doesn't. Russ will never win a ring, but he will be a very solid player. He's going to be a Hall of Famer.
For years to come.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
the worst, I think, though, is that he doesn't even realize it.
He doesn't. And that's
and
the
he's
thing.
Why am I being benched at the end of the game? Which is you like that mentality, but yeah, you need team guys. You know what I mean?
So, I mean, this might be an obvious one, but does he get traded by tomorrow?
Oh,
Russell Westbrook?
Yeah, it's got to happen.
So, there we go. So, there's an answer there. What do you think about this James Harden and Ben Simmons trade?
I need it to happen. Because you know what would be the funniest thing ever? Ben Simmons has not played all year, and he's going to come in no basketball shape at all, and he's going to be like, all right, time to be the all-star, and he's going to suck. He's going to suck so bad.
You're just waiting for it.
Oh, I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for him to take the floor of the Nets, for him to shoot 2 of 13 from the floor, and to somehow get a triple-double by making 10 out of the 20 free throws he's going to shoot, grabbing the open rebounds, and dishing to a Kevin Durant. It's going to be hilarious. He's going to get booed in Brooklyn if it happens. And you know what? He deserves it. He absolutely deserves it. Okay, I don't hate Ben Simmons that much. I disagree. I disagree with the way he plays.
Jordan Love is the greatest quarterback of all time.
All right, I'm leaving this show.
But
that's too much.
So here's the thing. The way I look at it, if you're the Philadelphia 76ers, okay, yes, Ben Simmons is on your roster technically, okay, but he hasn't played a game for you all year.
He got it.
Okay?
He's making $20 million a year.
And as much as I dislike James Harden now, especially with all the antics and everything, okay, as much as I dislike him, if you're Philly, okay, and they're talking, it's going to be Ben Simmons, Tyrese Maxey, who I like, and then Matisse Thybulle, who I also like very much, okay.
Did you see they actually switched out Matisse Thybulle?
Did they?
The Nets countered offered, and they want Seth instead of Tyrese Maxey.
Okay. So
not instead of Maxey
or Tyrese. So Seth Curry and Matisse.
Yes.
Okay. So the way I look at it, I mean, it's like I said, as much as I dislike James Harden, if you can get James Harden for Tyrese Maxey and Seth Curry, I'm sorry, Seth Curry and Ben's for essentially Matisse Thybulle and Seth Curry.
Yeah.
Because
Ben Simmons already isn't playing.
Yeah, because
I don't know why this trade hasn't happened, and both franchises are being stubborn in my opinion. Because have you seen this stuff with James Harden where he is screaming for them to make a trade to the point where it's like threatening, like you better trade me type stuff. So you're gonna have James Harden, who, in my opinion, is gonna hold out. And people are like, no, he won't. No, he won't. Oh yeah, absolutely. He's done it once. He'll do it again. Yeah. He doesn't care. Like,
don't care.
No, he don't care. He doesn't care. He'll do it again.
We do not care, Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, no, he does not care. But he's gonna hold out. So okay, if you're the Nets, you have a guy who isn't playing, and if you're the 76ers, you have a guy who isn't playing. Why not just flip them? Can we just make this a 1-for-1? Like they're both around the same production. Like one is a significantly better scorer.
I like Ben Simmons, but that's way too little for James Harden, in my opinion.
Obviously, not exactly a flip. Yeah. Like obviously, the team that is getting James Harden needs to give up more, which is what we're seeing.
Yeah, Thibault and Steph Curry.
Yeah. So from what I've heard from the most recent is that it's
you said Seth Curry,
it's James Harden,
Seth Curry,
Patty Mills,
and then Patty Mills. Oh, okay.
And then they want Ben Simmons, Matisse Thybulle, Seth Curry, who am I forgetting?
And not Maxey, right?
No, who am I forgetting?
I don't think you're forgetting anyone.
Just those three?
Yeah, I literally think it's just those three.
Okay.
So like I said, like if you're Philly, like essentially you don't have Ben Simmons anyways because he's not playing. So on your current 2021-2022 roster, you would be getting Patty Mills and James Harden for freaking Seth Curry and Matisse Thybulle. You do that.
I would love to see Embiid and Harden.
Yeah,
I'd love it.
And again, I can't reiterate enough how much I dislike James Harden, but you do that 20 times out of 10.
Can I talk about James Harden really quick?
Go ahead.
Because in my opinion,
it's your podcast.
This is what happens when superstars are spoiled, in my opinion. And I heard Stephen A. Smith talk about this a little bit. And
I don't watch that fraud anymore.
Sure, but I totally agree with and this is, he got inside information but this seems legit, right? Mm-hmm. James Harden, with his time at the Houston Rockets, was never told no. If he wanted if he wanted a deal to happen, it happened. He wanted Chris Paul, he got him. He wanted Chris Paul gone. He wanted Russell Westbrook, he got him. He wanted Russell Westbrook gone. And then finally, when he's like, oh, I don't want John Wall on the team, and they're like, no, like we're gonna make that backcourt happen. He's out of there. You know what I mean? He's out. And now it's okay. I want to go to Brooklyn. And now, why does he not want to play in Brooklyn? Why?
It's mostly because of Kyrie and his choice that he's making.
Yeah, which is like ridiculous. First of all,
and I don't like to get political. And I don't want to say anything, but Kyrie Irving is making a choice not to get vaccinated.
Yes.
And him and a lot of the team very much disagree
they're
with
suffering
that choice.
Very bad.
Yeah, they very much disagree with the choice of him.
Not just on the court, in the locker room. For sure, they're suffering.
And I don't have an opinion on the matter. I don't agree with the Nets, nor do I agree with Kyrie Irving. Yes. Okay, I'm kind of neutral about it. But that's just what I'm saying. Like,
it's the reality.
Yeah.
It's the reality without getting political about it.
Yeah.
It's the reality. Kyrie Irving doesn't want to get vaccinated, and he can't play in he can only play in 10 of the last 29 games.
Yeah.
Which that affects the locker room, that affects everything else. And this is what we've seen for franchise. If guys aren't on the same page, it doesn't work. You know what I mean? If players aren't on the same page, it doesn't work. And chemistry is way, way more important than I even thought. And we've seen it a lot these past couple of years.
For sure.
We've seen it crazy.
That's why a couple of years ago, you saw the Heat upset the Bucks in the playoffs. Because that Heat team was less talented, but what did they have more than anything?
Oh, they had chemistry.
Instant chemistry.
They were all in on everything that was going in there. Jimmy Butler said it's a business trip. And while he absolutely did hook up with Rachel Nichols, which is hilarious.
Good for him.
Good for him. Honestly, good for him, though. I am
care
too.
If she's almost 50.
I don't care.
I don't care.
Not
she's
even a little
almost
bit.
50.
Not even a little bit.
Or maybe she is 50. It doesn't matter.
I think she is.
Doesn't matter.
Shout out to Jimmy Butler.
This ain't age, it's experience.
But still, like, they were all in on, okay, this is a business trip. Jimmy Butler said he didn't talk to his family, which is absurd. Like, that's like crazy. But chemistry is so important. And when you have a locker room like the Nets right now, where guys just straight up aren't playing because of personal decisions, I mean, that hurts. It does.
And you know what? Rest in peace, David Stern, the former commissioner before. I don't know if you saw me say this in the group chat. Before Adam Silver, and he was the former commissioner. Okay, like, rest in peace. I mean, no disrespect. Okay, and I'm not even saying this in a way that I personally disagree with it. Yeah. But this is what happens when you make it a player league.
Absolutely.
You know, like, these are the consequences that come with it, you know?
Which is, like, I think for the NBA, it's not as bad, because the NBA is supposed to be drama-filled, you know what I mean? It's how it's always been. Yeah. It's how it's always going to be. We've been able to assign connect with individuals more in basketball than I think we have in football. You know what I
but
mean?
this is the
Bird
downside.
versus Magic. You know,
Oh, absolutely.
What are the NFL rivalries like with players? Brady v Manning.
Yeah, Brady versus Manning.
That's like the best one.
Yeah, you got freaking I mean, Pats and Jets are a rivalry.
Sure,
obviously, yeah,
but I mean like
Pats
a
and
player
Colts,
rivalry,
and then
a
Pats
player
and
rivalry.
Broncos. Oh, a player rivalry? Oh,
It's tough.
Jesus.
There's
I mean,
none. You know what I mean?
I'm sure there's some, but I'm sorry. Like
we could name 10 off the top of our head for the NBA.
Freaking Josh Norman and Odell.
Sure,
Josh Norman and Odell.
And that's not like.
And then
those aren't superstars.
Mike
like,
Evans and Marshawn Lattimore.
Yes, absolutely.
That's what Mike Evans and Marshawn Lattimore.
But like we can name 10 off the top of our head for the NBA. Paul Pierce, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, and the entire 08 Celtics.
The entire league.
Yeah, literally the entire league.
I mean, I'd say San Antonio.
Jordan and Drexler. You have Jordan Hakeem.
Jordan Hakeem, Jordan Drexler.
Jordan anyone in the played in the 90s.
Kemp and Payton.
Yeah.
Jordan and Bird,
Barkley,
McHale, Parrish, and DJ.
Yeah.
Like, and Barkley, like you said, yeah. So
this is 100% a players league, which I think works in the NBA's favor a little bit.
Because it's different.
People connect with James Harden. They're like, yeah, you know what I mean? But I think it's different. And I will say David Stern has done a fantastic job with making the NBA worldwide. Phenomenal. Absolutely
and the
phenomenal.
NFL's playing catch up there.
Absolutely. They're trying. It's not going as well. I remember in 2019, it was every single award or accolade came from international. Giannis won the MVP. The Rookie of the Year was Luka.
Yeah, that was 2018 then.
Oh, sorry.
That was,
wait, hold on.
Yeah, because that
29. Who won it in 2019? It was an international guy.
It was Giannis because he won back-to-back MVP.
No, who won Rookie of the Year though?
Oh, in 2019?
Yeah.
I can't think of it.
It was one of the year. It was the year that the Raptors won the ring. Everything was international. The MIP was someone international. The champion was the Toronto Raptors. Giannis won the MVP. Defensive player was Rudy Gobert. It was every single accolade was from.
It was Luka. That's so weird. I thought okay. So
well,
you might have been right
because the 18-19 season.
Oh, so it was Luka. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought you meant 19-20.
No.
That's my fault. But I mean, I completely agree with you. Like, the NBA has done a great job of like making themselves
phenomenal.
A worldwide league.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So got guys like Josh Giddey, like
I like Josh Giddey too.
The internet. I love how the NBA has become international.
Absolutely.
I think that's so cool.
So want to do a couple? I know we're approaching an hour, but want to do a couple minutes on the Celtics?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So,
I mean, we put them in the thumbnail.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
So what do you think? What do you think about kind of so far their lack of aggression, like their kind of passive aggressive?
Marcus Smart gets moved tomorrow. I'll say it.
So you do anticipate it?
Yeah.
So what do you think about them being kind of complacent as of right now? Do you like it? Not like it? Or do you not really care because he's probably gonna move tomorrow?
He better get moved tomorrow. Dude, it's same old. You know what I mean? This happens every trade deadline. When's the last time the Celtics have made a good trade deadline move?
Isaiah Thomas.
Sure.
Yeah, because he was a friggin' trade deadline move. Yeah. They traded him for Marcus Thornton in the second round pick. Remember him?
Yeah.
Marcus Thornton in the second round pick.
I love the video when Isaiah Thomas. It was this guy like doing like a Boston accent, and it was like Celtics fans. It was like Celtics fans after the year that Isaiah Thomas like was like 5th in MVP or whatever. Yeah. And he's just tapping his buddy like it's the classic. He just goes, he's laughing. He goes, Marcus Thornton, Isaiah Thomas for Marcus Thornton and a second. That's all I think about when I hear Marcus Thornton. Awesome. It's just Marcus Thornton.
So that's actually freaking hilarious. Okay. So kind of as we start to wind down, I kind of want to make one final point for the Celtics. I'm telling you, the worst thing that they can do, and I think you're going to agree with me on this, is kind of be hypnotized by their latest hot streak.
Yes.
Okay. And,
every year, Gino.
Yes.
Every year, the January, February win streak, we're like, oh, here it comes.
I'm so glad that you noticed
it
too.
happens every year.
I'm so glad.
Gino, this has been happening since the Kyrie Irving days.
Thank you.
This has been happening since Kyrie Irving. Do you remember, and I remember this specifically because I fell for it. In January of 2019, the Celtics had their classic LA road trip, or the West Coast road trip, where they play both LA teams. They play Golden
Denver,
State,
Utah.
Yeah. Just anyone who's on the coastline, like Sacramento. They hit like those 4 or 5 teams, and they call it like the LA road trip or whatever it is. And all this news came out about, oh, Kyrie Irving's gotten really close with the guys on the plane. They've been blah 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 blah. They go on a 6-game win streak. Every single January and February, this happens. We need to stop getting fooled by it.
Thank you.
We need to stop this.
Yes.
Every every year.
And I don't know if you've noticed, we have, like, with the exception of Charlotte, like, we have pretty much faced nobody, like, remotely impressive.
We love doing this.
Yes.
Every single year, we love the January win streak, and we love to talk up, like, oh, they figured it out.
Yeah.
They did it.
And who are we beating? We demolished Brooklyn last night, who didn't have Durant. They didn't have their big three.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't even think they have Blake Griffin, did they?
No.
They didn't have Blake Griffin.
Gino,
They didn't have their big four.
I can tell you, literally, exactly the memory every single year from the January win streak. I can tell you the narrative. 2019, Kyrie Irving figured it out. He did it. That whole team, Kyrie's taking the leadership role, and he didn't. 2020, this new team, they're figuring it out.
Yep.
Tatum's stepping it up. They're figuring out how to mesh with Kemba. Oh, it's happening. 2021, look at that! Look, Kemba's back!
Look at that! We beat Mo Bamba! We beat Sadiq Bey!
Kemba's not injured. I actually went to the game in 2020 when they blew out the Lakers at home. I remember it.
Yep.
The Lakers played like shit, and
Wasn't
we were
that
just
like the first play of the game or like the first 5 seconds
to
when
Dwight Howard,
LeBron to JaVale McGee?
Or
like the half-court alley-oop or whatever.
That was. I thought we were gonna get blown out after that, and we ended up winning. 2021, it was Kemba's back.
Yeah.
He's not injured anymore. His hip is fine.
UConn! Kemba!
Remember that shot he hit at Madison Square Garden 10 years ago? He's back! He's
baby!
back! Every single year, it's the exact same thing. This year, we solved it!
Yeah.
Tatum's got it! Tatum and Brown figured out how to work with
Who
the
said
car.
the Jays? Who said Marcus couldn't learn how to pass?
Who said Marcus Smart couldn't play friggin' point guard, kid? Look at him! He's throwing lobs to big old
giving up
Simon.
before that center with Grant? Who cares?
Who cares? Look, we got Schroeder on the best deal in the league, kid.
Schroeder. Who else would you get like him for $5 million?
Oh, for $5 million, get Dennis Schroeder. Grant Williams is shooting the ball. Like every year, we do the same.
Bring back Ojale.
We need Danny Tice. He's the secret.
Hey, don't say that too loud. Jason's gonna barge in here.
No, it's the same exact thing every single year with the Celtics. The same thing.
You know,
it's we figured it out in January. No, the same things are gonna happen.
I'm so glad that I'm so glad
I fell for it in 2019.
Yeah.
That's why.
I've never fallen for it. I will say I've never fallen for it.
I've fallen for it. I'm not falling for it ever again. We go on a win streak in January every year.
Yep.
And if you're a Celtics fan and you don't realize it and you're like, oh, they're winning, just wait until post Valentine's Day. Wait. Once after Valentine's Day, it's over.
Yep.
That's how it's gonna be.
So how you feeling? Feeling good? Feeling content? Feeling satisfied?
Yeah, I'm feeling content.
You know, with all this talk about the Celtics, with all these people that we're talking about who they maybe should and shouldn't do, you know, the January hot streak is real with them, but if they were to acquire just one piece,
I think I know the man.
one piece in particular, I think for sure it would be undeniable that they'd be NBA champions, and the player on my mind is
John Bro! Peace, everyone.